Once again, I am your esteemed host, Big Mike, and we have a full house tonight. I've got my man Dylan, Breezes, Enox, Roz is back from his birthday vacation.
Birthday boy.
Fellas,
back.
2 week sabbatical.
Wiser and wiser. And wiser.
He took a Dennis Rodman vacation mid-season.
Wiser. I brought new beard with me too.
Hey, here we go. How was everybody's week?
We are back, fellas. How are we doing?
Good, man.
Doing wonderful, man. Nets are in first place. It's a great thing.
Oh Lord.
I'm happy, boy. It's wonderful. I'm still not a good gambler right now. I took myself out of gambling punishment after a week off, and man, that didn't help me at all. I changed gambling apps and everything. Man, not a good week. I almost won $300 on the Nets last night, and then Steve Nash decided to bench Blake Griffin. I only needed him to get two more rebounds. That was it. I won every other bet in my parlay, and he benched Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin played 9 minutes. In his defense, he played terrible. He was playing
not playing good. I was watching that game. He was not playing good.
But man, did I need those 2 rebounds like air. Air I breathe.
I wonder how much you would have got if you had bet that KD didn't put lotion on that day.
He came out. He's like, I'm about to start calling y'all broke. Like, if you're gonna keep this up, I'm just gonna pull.
That's how bad the roasting was getting. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to go down this money route because y'all are killing me."
I love that he's embraced I'm a fight you on Twitter persona as opposed to hiding behind the burners because it's entertaining.
It's funny. It's funny, gentlemen. It's time to go to work. It has been a long week once again in the world of sports. And we're going to start off how we've been starting it off because there's always drama in the NFL. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but it feels like every good team lost this weekend. I think every good team took an L, and everything that we thought we knew, I don't know if we still know it. I don't know if it was a full moon last week, but nobody wanted to put any distance between themselves and the standings. So the logjam continues. I believe everybody, Breezes doesn't count because he doesn't have a team. And all of our teams for the first time took an L on the same week.
Oh, man.
My Titans probably with the worst loss being that we lost to the Texans.
Yeah, we were a close one against Miami.
At home, too.
We were in a close one against Miami.
One that they probably should have won. And the Raiders, once again, got ran off the field.
Raiders got mollywopped by the Bengals.
We got mopped up in the past 3 weeks. 13 points, 14 points, 13 points again.
I would like to remind the listeners that the Jets beat the Bengals, and I said last week that if the Bengals beat the Raiders, then the Jets are better than the Raiders. So
yes,
there we have it. And I'm telling you right now, Dylan, y'all gonna be 2-15, and you're still going to be telling me the same thing you're telling me right now.
Yep,
I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, we beat the Bengals and the Titans. You're still gonna be saying that.
We beat 2 better teams than you've beaten all year. It's true. Those are 2. Name me a better win on your roster and your schedule that you have that's better than those 2 wins. You know how?
Maybe the Baltimore.
We beat the Ravens. We beat the Ravens. We beat the Steelers. We beat the Steelers too.
Are either one of them better than the Bengals?
Baltimore's better than the Bengals, man.
Really?
Yeah,
the
Ravens are
last
better
time
than
they played. When Bengals ran them off the field.
Okay, you're gonna go off one game. You know they do play again, right?
I will go off the game that they played.
Okay, all right.
Because last time I checked, they were trying to run out the clock and were scoring 30-yard rushing touchdowns.
Before we get into these scores, we do have some unfinished business from last week's show. We made our mid-season predictions, and Roz, we were all anxiously waiting. Who do you have playing in the Super Bowl at this point right now? Who is going to make it?
This is tough. It's been kind of wacky this year, but I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with Kansas City in the AFC, and then I'll have to go with the Bucks again. Tom Brady will come back again, so it'll be KC against the Bucks. It's gonna be a repeat of last year, and I think the Bucks actually win it again. I'm gonna go with Tom repeating again. I didn't think that they were going to be good enough to do that, but I watched that game against the Giants, and I feel like they got their groove back. I feel like there's a lot of guys on that team that isn't back yet, and that's scary. Because as bad as the Giants are, and the Giants are horrific, guys like Vita Vea, like there's some guys flying around and they weren't even getting that attention that Vita Vea gets, and that's absolutely crazy. You have some of the cornerbacks who aren't healthy. You got like
all
two
of the corners,
and they're all coming back. Like Godwin. We still don't know what's happening with the Antonio Brown situation. If that gets resolved, he's coming back. It's a lot of variables that are only working in their favor, and I just don't see anyone beating them. I just can't see anyone beating them at full strength.
You sicken me saying that in a Jets shirt.
I know.
After all that man has done to us.
I know. But it's more so the team than anything.
I think it's fair to say that the Chiefs are all the way back after unleashing that can of whoop ass like they're Stone Cold Steve Austin, just dousing the beers. That looked terrible.
And their line is better.
The beers on the Raiders, and then they came up on.
But they beat the Cowboys 19-9 though. Are they all the way back though?
Yeah, I think
back.
so.
The Cowboys are a tough game.
But that Cowboys game is like, okay,
the
they did good.
Game.
Yeah, but look, all right, but my thing is when the Chiefs whooped us 7 different ways in our building, I said to myself, okay, they back 100%. Then I see the Cowboys game. It's like, okay, they win 19-9. That's how they've been winning all year.
But that's what you need to see.
So the Cowboys are better than the Raiders. That's what.
No, but even the Giants. But even the Giants, the Chiefs barely got by the Giants. That's how they've been playing all year.
But the Chiefs also played better defense against the Cowboys than they have against anybody else.
Yeah,
that Cowboys offense is hot.
No, but I'm talking offensively. I'm talking offensively.
But the Cowboys also have a great defense.
The Giants also have a great defense too.
The Giants actually have a good defense. They just have a terrible coaching scheme.
Yeah, and Diggs is the best cornerback in the entire league right now, and he, you have to think that he makes some impact on Tyreek Hill, that receiving core, that cornerback group, and even Micah Parsons running around going crazy like that. The defense is not going to be a pushover. What you did see, which is I think a very underrated thing, and I know Chiefs fans are super happy about, is you wonder what happened with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and how he was going to do when he came back. He looked awesome. He looked like he's fully healthy. He probably needs a few more games, maybe 2 or 3 to knock the rust off. But if you're a Chiefs fan and you're a fan of the Chiefs offense in general, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and how he looked coming out there, it just adds a whole nother layer that you have to worry about, and that's a nightmare.
And hopefully
that's a nightmare.
Too.
If he gets his fumbling behind him, I mean, I think the Chiefs are clear favorites in the AFC because
it's just like can you feel comfortable saying any team in the AFC right now? Because every time you get comfortable with one team, they end up losing. Like realistically,
yeah, it's been that type of year. But there's a few teams in the AFC I could say if they're at their best, it's rough sledding for any team. That's the Chiefs. That's the Ravens, and that's the Bills. Those are the 3 teams. No, not the Ravens. the Ravens, right?
The Ravens.
And a lot of them are similar in the sense that they have this one player that they just have game breakers, right? And I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire changes the script for the Chiefs because you can't have him just leaking out the backfield. That's a nightmare for any defensive coordinator. You double Tyreek, you try to handle all the speed they throw at you. You try your best to chip at Kelsey. You try to keep Mahomes in the pocket, and then you have to deal with Clyde Edwards-Helaire running wheel routes and in and out routes and in routes and getting dumped off and getting 15 yards every time. You can't do that. You can't do anything. It's you can't. I mean, now you're just talking about every time you're going down the field, you're forcing your offense to have to score, and that's been the Chiefs' game the entire time. Andy Reid and that whole Patrick Mahomes' era is, yeah, they might not have the best defense, but you have to score every time you touch the ball. That's tough for any team.
And even though they don't have the best defense, when that defense plays, that defense plays. We saw it in their Super Bowl run. We even saw it last year on their way to the Super Bowl, where that defense shows up. They have veterans on it. They have a good defensive front. When Honey Badger's playing, they play completely different too. It's just Sorensen this year has been terrible, and the corners haven't been great, and they've been getting exposed on the run. They stopped one of, if not the best rushing attack in football, and had to force the Cowboys to change their game plan.
Yeah, they're bend but don't break defense. They're meant to play ahead. They set the defense up to do that. So once you start letting them just like pin their ears back with Frank Clark and all those other guys like that, that's when the Chiefs defense starts to really start causing mayhem. But they have to be ahead. If they're behind, you get what you got in the first few weeks of this entire season, where everyone's like, what's going on with the Chiefs? Because the offense is not producing like it's supposed to for that defense.
As much as but again, it's like, as much as it kills me to say this, and I never thought this would ever come out of my mouth, I think the Chargers are the best team in the AFC West right now. I really do think the Chargers are the best team in that division right now. I don't know why the NFL just flexed the Broncos and Chiefs to Sunday Night Football for Week 13. I don't really see why they want the Broncos on prime time.
They don't want the Broncos on prime time. They want Pat Mahomes on prime time.
Yeah, but
light up the Broncos. That's what it is.
I can answer that question for you. Patrick Mahomes is the face of the NFL. Anytime you can put him on primetime, that's a rating.
You do it.
That's a number.
People will watch
against Denver though.
They'll watch an ass whooping if it's an entertaining ass whooping when you have a guy who's throwing the ball 40 yards.
But do you remember when it was the Bears at the Packers? That was always a primetime game, and the Packers would win 51-14 every single time.
Because the Bears and Packers are two national
the oldest
teams.
rivalry in football.
The Bears suck, but the Bears have a massive fan base.
Speaking of
the
Bears,
Packers have a massive fan base, and they have Aaron Rodgers. I would put them on every week too.
It's bad when at a basketball game the chance to fire the coach.
No, when I saw that, I was like, "Yes,
I was
yes, do that. That's a thing. Do that. Make your voices heard."
Because they were getting watched by, I think, the Pacers, I believe, and then the fans were just fire Nagy.
His fault. It's his fault the Bulls lost.
And then they were chanting fire Nagy at his son's football game too. Oh my!
The cool thing I like about Chicago is they'll voice their opinion and everybody's on the same page unless it's baseball because you're split between the Cubs and the White Sox. But when it's football, when it's hockey, when it's basketball, everybody in Chicago is a fan of those teams, and they all agree with each other. It's all like-minded, echo chamber. We all have the same opinions, and man, everybody there hates Nagy, and Nagy is the most unaware human being I've ever heard in my life. For him getting asked about him getting fired after Thanksgiving, when this should be up, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, that after Thanksgiving he will be fired. And he's like, I haven't heard that. You've been hearing it all over the sports world, friendo.
I don't think he's gonna want. I don't think he's just gonna want to admit it, though. I think that's just one of those things. He wants to just keep it under the rug and whatnot.
Next one.
I was listening to you But I had to, at the time of this recording, I just had to give some breaking news. The Knicks have beaten Roz's Lakers, I got to get one ding bong for that, please.
Yes.
Mr. Producer, can I get one ding bong for that?
Got you right.
Bing bong.
You know,
Thank you.
Roz is gonna. We'll touch on it when we get to the NBA in a minute. Bing bong.
And we definitely needed that victory.
You guys definitely
needed
that.
We needed that so bad.
9-9 and be at the
Why would the
bottom.
Knicks need that victory if they're like world champions right now? I don't get it. Why would you need that victory?
Wait, what?
Well, that would have been tough because y'all would have been 3-7 in your last 10.
Don't feed it to it.
Yeah.
Exactly. The Knicks needed that for the season.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm gonna put up these power rankings.
Oh, so that actually saves your season. Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. That win saves your season. So now you're 10-9. Season completely saved.
10-8.
Oh, I'm sorry.
10-8. 10-8.
10-8. Championship secured. Season secured.
Oh boy.
I'm just going by what was said. I mean, like this is literally being recorded. Saved our season. My goodness.
Nobody's saying anything. No rebuttals.
I'm gonna move on.
Too early.
Oh, okay. All right.
I can't speak for what was said. That wasn't me.
All I want to say is this is recorded about. Listen, when I'm told that you guys are kind of crazy, no. I'm talking.
I didn't
crazy.
say that.
But literally, you have one thing talking about this saved our season at 10-8.
I didn't say that.
10-8.
I did not say that.
Oh, okay. I mean, listen, it'll come out. It'll be there.
You stupid.
No editing. It'll come out. We're
I
not
won't
gonna edit
edit
this
it.
one out.
I'll
We're not
make it
gonna edit
louder.
this one out. I'm glad the LeBron-less Lakers at 9-9 saved your season.
Oh God.
I know Silver is absolutely furious.
Just have rolled in.
I know you guys still have a significant amount of money spent on certain players to still be a really good team without LeBron. So even if you don't have LeBron, you guys still have Westbrook, Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony. So I don't
get him.
I think Melo had a decent game. I don't know what's going on with Street Clothes. I have no idea what's going on with him. But yeah, I don't know. Russ. I've already voiced my opinion on Russ. I wouldn't have kept Russ. I wouldn't have got Russ. $44 million for that man is absolutely insane. But I'm not Mr. Pelinka.
I will let you go.
But that's still his extension from the OKC, though, right? Because they gave him 5 years. They gave him 5 years, $205 million, and that still is that. Okay, he's still on that contract, though.
Yes, he's still haunting the league with his contract. Yes, absolutely.
The two worst contracts in baseball are Russell Westbrook and John Wall.
Yeah,
baseball. Oh God, edit that out.
Yeah, John Wall's contract is crazy, man.
John Wall's contract is bad.
Yeah.
$47 million to chill.
Congratulations to the Knicks.
Before we continue, did you know the Rockets have one win?
Yeah, they're like one.
They have one win. With the amount of youth and like decent talent on that roster, they have one win.
But they are playing hard though.
They play
falling
tough
short.
basketball. They play
hard.
like they're a 17-year-old team. But man, they have one win.
They don't worry me like New Orleans worries me. New Orleans looks like a just bad team.
Zion's a fat fuck.
Sacramento is a bad team. So
Zion, if you hear this,
you got Brandon, you got Ingram out there on the island by himself, and it's just like it's not really much help he's getting. Like honestly,
they're a terribly run organization who don't do anything to help the players that are there. They do nothing but hurt. They do nothing but hurt. They're terrible.
What, New Orleans? Or are you talking about
New Orleans? They do nothing but hurt. They've never done anything good besides bringing Boogie in to help AD. They never really done anything good to help any star they've had. They let them all just go and be great somewhere else. Zion is going to be that. But Zion also can't keep Beignets away.
Have y'all seen LaMelo Ball, though? LaMelo Ball, that boy's been balling. Woo.
He's good.
He's good.
Unbelievable.
He's good.
Jordan's got to hit on one sooner or later. Because, man, he's been terrible GM.
But now, I kind of feel bad for LiAngelo. I feel like he keeps getting the rough end of the stick all the time.
Dylan, you mean Sean May wasn't a good pick?
Nah, Sean May was perfect. He was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What a name to pull out the hat. What a name to pull out the hat. My goodness.
Michael
I haven't heard that.
That was James pulled that one out the bag from his
Whoa.
That's a
Whoa, that's
one.
a nasty trivia question too. Sean May is such a bad pick. I remember him being bad, and I remember being like, man, that's really bad. And then like I remember just like him existing in the NBA space for bad long, and I was like, oh, Sean May's gone. Okay, cool. Like, wow, what a bad pick. This is one of those things that's a bad pick.
They had him and Raymond Felton on the same team, right?
Ooh,
Felton was okay. And Nick's Legend also, by the way.
Nick's
which
Legend,
is
Raymond
if you don't,
Felton,
if you don't,
crazy.
stop.
Nick's Legend, Raymond Felton.
Close that damn mouth. Don't even.
That pick
That is so much. That is so disrespectful.
I know he's
Nick's Legend, Raymond Felton.
I know he used that.
Raymond Felton, Landry Fields.
I was told that he was a facilitator. He was a maestro out there on the floor. He was a facilitator.
They talk
Raymond Felton.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm not talking no lies. I'm telling what I was
Did
told.
that team have Jordan Hill on it too?
Yes, it did have Jordan Hill.
Jordan Hill on it too.
Yes,
Mr. Discount double check himself. Steve Novak.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Novak was hitting threes though.
Novak
Was
was
that Isaiah's team? No, that wasn't Isaiah's team, was it?
Was that Isaiah's team?
No,
Isaiah was gone. That was Mike
He was gone by that time.
Mike Woodson.
Oh yeah, that was That was
Mike
Pringles'
with the
team.
cleanest mustache I've ever
My
seen.
goodness.
Mike Woodson always had that mustache lined up and just colored in like it was perfect. Perfect mustache.
Shout out to Mike Woodson too, coaching at the University of Indiana, and they already winning with him there. So shout out to Mike Woodson. Knicks dirty.
Talking about Raymond Felton, man. He used to give LeBron in that Miami Heat team.
We have a 12-year-old
buckets.
I mean, listen, Nick's Legend, Raymond Felton. I'm trying to tell you. Nick's Legend. Tell it, James. Tell it like the truth.
Yeah, he was
Nick's
giving
Legend, Raymond
Miami 08, 07 buckets. Okay.
Damn, that was awesome. It started off with a deep rip and then just went right into the Knicks stuff. I love it. I live for it.
No, but can we talk about LeBron's inexcusable actions the other day?
No. Y'all jumping, man. Y'all finish your NFL talk.
We're
okay.
I think we're all the way done with NFL.
I still have a lot.
That's a lot to talk about.
We still have to get Roz's MVP pick. We haven't even.
Oh yeah. Let's bring it back.
We'll slow down. We'll rewind, and then we'll get to it.
All right. So I have to pick the MVP. Oh,
yep.
Man.
You picked your Super Bowl. We got that on record. Who is winning the MVP? Is going to win, not leading right now. Who is actually going to win when it's all said and done? The regular season MVP.
Oh, this is tough.
Honorable mentions.
This is tough because it seems like it changes, and it is like every other week or so, man. It's like you could have told me like 3 weeks ago, I'd have been like, yeah, Lamar is definitely about to get this one. He's hitting a roll, and then he gets like sick again, and then he's gone, and then like something, he's out of the game. Jonathan Taylor's been coming on crazy as of late.
Why we get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, man. He has been incredible as of late. I mean, at the end of it, oh boy. I guess put me on the spot. I'm trying to figure out right now, man. I can't call it. I mean, if you had to,
I can help you out. If it goes the way you say, I would think it would be either Tom Brady or Mahomes, since you have them in the Super Bowl.
I was thinking about that. I mean, I
No
was
bailouts, Mike. No bailouts.
I was thinking about that, and I was thinking like, you know, it's got to be right now for me. It's got to be either Jonathan Taylor at the end, and I think he definitely has himself capable of doing this. It's got to be Dak, or it's going to be Tom Brady. I think you're going to give me either Dak, Brady, or Jonathan Taylor. So I'm going to run with, because usually QBs win, I'm going to go with Dak Prescott for MVP.
Dakota Scott Prescott.
And actually, I think he might win comeback player of the year as well, too, as a result. There's no way you can't give it to him.
Dak is my dark horse MVP pick.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Lamar winning. Dylan, I believe you have.
He's definitely worthy of that
Mr.
too.
Brady, right?
No, I said right now it would be Kyler when we did it, and then I said, but I think Mahomes is going to end up winning it.
Yeah.
After that,
Anthony, who you have for MVP?
Vegas.
I believe I had Rodgers.
Yes.
Yeah, I did have Rodgers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Yes. Okay.
And I still do.
So that is locked in. We will revisit this in about a month or two and laugh at each other, because undoubtedly the way this season's been going, who knows where we will be MVP wise.
It's going to end up being homeboy in Houston, Tyrod Taylor. He's going to end up balling out. We're all going to be wrong. Tyrod saves his career after getting his lung punctured and wins MVP.
Tyrod dirty, man.
Let's look at these power rankings. Oh,
did you guys know I'm blocked by Pete Prisco on Twitter? Did I tell you guys the story?
I knew that because you told me.
Yeah,
you showed it to me.
Yeah, he loves him. Fred Taylor decided to throw Curtis Martin under the bus.
Oh, you have an unrealistic obsession.
No, I think the Rams are too high. The Rams are way too high. Number 2, in front of the Packers, the Buccaneers
just lost too. Packers just lost to the Vikings.
Yeah, but the Vikings are a good team.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are.
They're 5-5. They are not a good team. They're an okay team.
They have a bad coach. That's their problem.
Yeah, but the Rams should not be number 2. That's
the Rams are like literally second place in the NFL right now in record.
The Rams are 7-3.
Yeah.
Tampa needs to be higher. Kansas City needs to be higher.
And I don't like the Chargers and the Colts being. No, I don't like the Chargers and the Colts being over the Cowboys. I don't like.
The Cowboys deserve to be on this list.
The Cowboys need to be on this list, and I also think that the Colts are actually better than the New England Patriots.
Well, the Patriots just took possession of first place in the AFC East.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the AFC East is horrid. Besides Buffalo, I'm going to say that Indianapolis is finally playing up to their talent, and I always thought if they played to their talent, they're one of the best teams in the AFC. Period.
Well, Indianapolis figured out a way to hide Carson Wentz. That's through Jonathan Taylor. It's why I don't think
I agree.
A great quarterback. It's they hit him.
The Colts have decided that they want to play. They want to be a carbon copy of my Titans. That's what
exactly.
They're doing.
Well, yeah, you know, like,
hey, you gotta do what works, man.
That's the NFL moniker, right? It's a copycat league. You know,
you got a quarterback you don't trust. You got to hide him somehow. It's what the Browns do to Baker.
And if you have a superstar running back,
hide behind your running back and offensive line. Yeah. The Colts have a great offensive line and a good running back.
I mean, for me personally, I would switch LA and Tampa Bay. I would put LA at the 5.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong for that.
I don't like the Rams being that high either. I don't like the Rams being that
You're not wrong for that.
I actually don't think Green Bay is that high, especially after the last loss to Minnesota. I feel like Rodgers isn't all the way back, and that toe injury is really going to be an issue.
He had a masterful game.
Yeah,
he had
his
a
toe
horrible second half.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
toe, his
unbelievable
toe.
second half. Though.
I know, but his toe is going to be an issue, man. There's only so much that he can do. I mean, he's going to have a bye week to kind of get through that. But it's, like the last time Aaron had a really bad injury like that bothered him, um, it it affected him in his play,
They were
and he started
trash.
taking some really bad hits. It's not. No,
They were
I think they
trash.
actually made the playoffs that year, but he started taking some shots, and those shots started to accumulate on him, he ended up being bad in that time. So I mean, we'll see
They were
if
trash.
they can treat him good. I think that they deserve to be at least in the top 5. But for now, I think I go Arizona with a healthy Kyler. It all depends. I mean, like, I think Tampa Bay woke themselves back up. I still give them the benefit of the doubt, and I think for me, I think they're number 1. I think Arizona's number 2. I would say,
Wow.
I would say, Green Bay. We'll keep Green Bay at number 3, I guess. Tennessee number 4. Los Angeles number 5. Without Lamar, I can't give them higher than that. So, I would actually put the New England Patriots over the Baltimore Ravens right now without Lamar. So they're number 6. Baltimore's number. Well, actually, let me rewind that. The Chiefs are number 6 right now. Patriots number 7. Baltimore number 8. Chargers number 9, and we'll leave the Colts there because I still think I need to see another week or 2 of the Colts. So that's my 10.
So you still don't have the Cowboys in the top 10.
And looking at this, I mean, the Cowboys I think are better than definitely the New England Patriots. I think, but it all depends if they have without Amari Cooper, the Cowboys are not on this list.
Yeah,
but my thing is, I agree with most of this list. The only thing is, I'm switching Baltimore and Kansas City. I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are better than the Ravens. Like,
I think Kansas City's better than the Ravens. Without Lamar Jackson, absolutely. Right now, week 12.
We've got a hater.
Wait, but Dylan, if I'm going off of your logic, the Ravens did beat the Chiefs.
They did.
But with Lamar, they beat the Chiefs.
And they only won because Clyde fumbled.
And I also that's why I put those stipulations in there. It's tough because we're only week 12. There's still right here we still got at least 5 more games. And I just think that things could just shift immediately once you get some guys back. Like not having Lamar Jackson is huge, man.
And they still won, but the only reason I think they won is because Fields got hurt too.
And I mean Chicago's awful.
Chicago's terrible, but I think Fields could have made a huge difference in a 3-point loss.
Maybe, but Chicago's awful.
Chicago is awful. I just want to throw this out here because I'm not a Cardinals fan, but I don't like this Cardinals slander that's going on here.
The teams with 2 losses.
I gave the Cardinals number 2.
I think they should
be. Stand having Cardinals number 1. They've clearly been the best team in the league this year so far.
And they had 2 games with Colt McCoy.
Because
Colt McCoy's played really well.
Look at them horns.
Again, I literally said, without Kyler, they're number 2. If it's Colt McCoy versus Tom Brady and the Bucks, they're getting shelled. I really believe that. I think we're not
at that. We talking power ranking right now.
Well, right now, Kyler Murphy didn't play.
I'm taking the Cardinals
Colt
over
McCoy.
both of those teams.
Because remember, Hopkins
McCoy
wasn't playing either. Hopkins hasn't been playing either.
With Colt McCoy, you're taking that over Tom Brady with the Bucks.
If it was the playoffs right now, Kyler would have played. Kyler would have played if it was the playoffs.
No, but Colt McCoy played.
They're load managing him. Him.
But Colt McCoy played. Like, he played, though.
Dubs.
Well, if we're talking Colt McCoy,
he didn't play bad. I don't know if they beat Tampa, but
then that means we
gotta still give, but we still gotta give them some respect. Their defense is playing outstanding.
I did. I made them number 2 with Colt McCoy. With Kyler Murray, they're easily number 1. Easily number 1.
Baby Yoda.
But with Colt McCoy,
I don't know. I just don't like them losing
No
their
way.
number one spot without actually losing a game. The
Yeah.
old
did they
college
lose
football.
a game though?
How do you
Tyler
lose
Murray
your
lost
ranking
one
without
game.
actually losing?
I thought they actually did lose a game though.
Yeah, Colt McCoy's 2-1.
Yeah. Who they
Tyler
just beat? They
lost
just
one game, and he
Yeah.
barely lost
to
Lost.
to that bad man in Green Bay.
that bad man.
Yeah, they just
Aaron
beat
Rodgers.
the Seahawks 23-13.
Speaking of the Seahawks,
Hey, remember when we fleeced the Seahawks for 2 firsts and a third for Jamal Adams?
No,
That
no,
boy-
You have to say it correctly. You have to say it correctly. We
The best in the
traded-
nation.
Thank you. The best in the nation. The best
Fun
in
fact,
the
I
nation.
think Steve McClendon has the same amount of interceptions on the season as Jamal Adams.
The best in the nation.
Steve McClendon, fun fact for y'all who don't know, is a defensive tackle.
I don't. Come on. Oh, y'all be winning with these trades. I will give y'all that.
Jamal
I'll give y'all that.
Adams.
Tonight. Y'all
Jamal
be
Adams
winning.
trade might be one of the
AKA
greatest
Blitz
trades
Boy.
in NFL history. Mark it down. By the end of everything is done, it will be considered one of the greatest trades in NFL history.
How much did Seattle give y'all? I mean,
2 firsts and a third
Two firsts and a third.
Gee,
for a safety.
who hasn't been doing
And they paid him. They made him the highest paid safety too. So not only are
$70
they,
million, $70 million.
When
We're
Jamal was
wrecking-
on the Jets, he was arguably the best safety in football. He got hit in coverages and literally had like almost double-digit sacks on the season, right? And he was great. And he played on a defense that had less talent than this Seahawks team does.
I
And
saw.
he
Go ahead.
and he goes to the Seahawks team that has a Bobby Wagner, that has a Shaq Griffin at corner, like a decent like defense talent-wise, and they're one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. They are
worst defense in the
terrible.
league.
They are terrible. And it's great because the Jets going to end up having 2 top 10 picks.
Top
And
5
it's-
right now.
Yeah, 2 top 5 picks. And it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be a
I
wonderful thing.
saw. I saw another fun fact. That since week 8, the Jets lead the league in rushing yards.
I don't know about rushing yards because Jonathan Taylor's a thing, but I think yards from scrimmage, I think Michael Carter is top 3 in the NFL with
Correct.
yards from scrimmage. But
wow.
he's going to be out the next 2 to 3 weeks
Correct.
with an ankle injury.
By the
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
Elijah Moore is also leading receivers in the NFL right now in the past 3 weeks as well too,
Yep.
for touchdowns and receptions.
Okay.
This is
I think
the
All
that's
right.
Elijah
very-
Moore I wanted to
Okay.
see.
All right. We're not going to talk about the Jets leading the league and this and that with have yet to win.
We get the Mormon Mahomes back.
Hey,
the Mormon
yet to
missiles
win.
back.
Oh God!
We yet to do what? We yet to what? We have to
Mike,
what?
Mike, you
Against
gotta-
who? But because I think you forgot because you said yet to win.
We're not going to
So,
sit here. And
What are
act
those?
like
What
the
are
Jets
those?
have this
Now,
dynamic
what are those
offense.
wins? What are those wins? You have to remind me of what
Hold
those
on,
wins
Roz.
are.
Hold on,
I
Roz.
can't.
Who are those wins?
I can't
Hold on one
believe this,
second.
man.
See,
Hold on, I gotta
Mike,
I
make
can't
sure.
believe it.
I'll be wanting to back you up, bro, but you be parking yourself into a dead end spot with your wording. If
Let me
you
grab
don't word
this
it right-
microphone really quick and
If
sit
you
back
don't
and
word
talk
it
about
right.
how the Jets
So
beat their ass like
let
a
me
drum.
let me
Mike.
let me fix my garment.
Well, let
Fix
me
my garment.
make
Make sure
How
that
is
it's
this
very visible.
clarify.
How is
here
this 2-win
because
team
I'm
dominating
not
this
because
conversation?
I'm not wrong. Y'all
No.
are jumping down my throat, but I'm not wrong. In the last 3 weeks, the Jets have not won. So
No,
That's true.
You said no. You said
Wait,
yet
not-
to win.
act like I said something incorrect because the Jets have
said
not
yet to
won
win.
in the last 3 weeks,
And then you said they have
which
2
is
wins,
what
and I said, and I asked
and
you
they
who
have
those 2
2
wins
wins.
are. Against whom?
they're against the Bengals and the
I'm
But
gonna
again,
teach myself
okay.
how to
my
like
point
insert
was,
video
we are
clips.
not going to sit
Okay.
here
All right.
and praise the Jets
Mm.
offense. They're running up and down the field when they have not won in the last 3 weeks.
We weren't doing that.
we're
We were
not
talking about their
doing
rookies.
That
Yeah, we're talking about our
We're
rookies.
talking about their rookies.
Next week, I'm having my helmet and my pennants
he's,
up on my
he's
door.
top 3 in the league in yards after catch. The whole league.
Yards from scrimmage.
But listen. You were talking about the last 3 weeks about us not winning. What did I say? in the
You
last
were
3
talking
weeks.
about the last 3
And
weeks.
all right, so we're keeping it on the same level here. The last 3 weeks, our rookie Elijah Moore, right? And you're welcome to look up the stats, right? He's definitely right tied, right, for the amount of touchdowns for receivers in the NFL.
Hit him with that touchdown dance real quick. Just
Oh my god.
And I will go back to my point again, which is what I originally said, is we are not going to talk about the Jets' last 3 weeks, when in the last 3 weeks, the Jets lost 30 to 45, 45 to 17, and 24-17. We are not talking about this team.
before we continue, Anthony, I don't know why you're laughing down there because we've outscored your ass the last 3 weeks, so you can hold that L too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And you also haven't won a game in 3 weeks, homeboy.
Mm-hmm.
This is
That is
also
also true.
And we clapped a team that you just recently lost to.
That is true.
That's why I'm mad that I'm laughing, because I had to say to myself, I was like, oh crap, we haven't won in 3
Don't
weeks.
worry, we'll trade you Mike White. You can have him. You know
Mike
his
White-
jersey's in the Hall of Fame. You
Right
can
now,
have
Mike
him.
White for Darren Waller. Mike White for Darren Waller, straight up.
This month, like honestly,
That's a
for me,
win-win.
I'm kind of feeling how a lot of people right now, how a lot of people in Raiders Nation is feeling. Like honestly, it's kind of hard to ignore the fact that Derek Carr plays very scared a lot of times, and it's really getting hard to ignore at this point. Again, the last 3 games, the turnovers have been too much. The overthrows, the indecisiveness. I hate to put things on Carr because he seems to be the blame every time we lose a game. We always like to dump everything on Carr.
what I was about to say.
He won't be your
But
quarterback.
I cannot, during this 3-game losing streak, I cannot defend Derek Carr. I can't.
He hasn't played good, but he's not the reason that y'all have lost these last 2 weeks.
No, but the thing is,
the franchise is literally imploding on itself in front of our eyes.
No, but the thing is though, this is year 8 for Carr, and he's always been like this. He's an average quarterback that has shown at times flashes of brilliance, but then the flashing, everything just kind of wears down, and then he just, he kind of reminds us after a few games who he really is. Yeah, for 2-3 games, he could be one of the best QBs in the game. And then after that, it's like, oh.
Here's where I'll defend Derek Carr and kind of tell you you're a little wrong here. Where Derek Carr, 3 or 4 years ago, before he broke his leg, was literally one of the leading MVP candidates in the NFL, and kind of got the trash end of the stick.
2016.
He got 5 years ago.
Yeah.
The shit end of the stick when it came to coming back from a nasty leg injury, and then having to kind of get back to being average in a situation where he didn't have a ton of weapons. Remember, your number one receiver, last year was Tyrell Williams. Like, he never really had anything to really work with in Oakland, Los Angeles. He only just started really having those weapons for the first time in his career this year. And then he was playing unbelievable. If the Ruggs situation didn't happen, you're maybe looking at a world where Derek Carr is an MVP candidate because he was playing unbelievable. Granted, like, all the shit that I talk about them not beating healthy teams or anything like that, like, that's just fun shit for me. But, like, again, I like the Raiders. I like them. You make me hate them. But Derek Carr is a really good quarterback, and he's just in a bad situation.
He is a good quarterback
right now.
Because I would dare you to tag team off of that, Dylan. I would dare you, outside of Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, to tell me what quarterback would be able to withstand all the nonsense Derek Carr has had to deal with for the last month.
And he's a great leader. He's a great leader.
It's not an excuse. He's not playing good, but we got to be real. There is a lot going on that has fallen on his plate in the last month.
But one thing I will say is he won't be on that team next year. I think his guaranteed money is up.
Yeah, his guaranteed money.
He's only there because of Gruden, because Gruden really liked him. Mayock is going to move him, And there's going to be like 6 different teams who are looking for quarterbacks. Don't be surprised if Derek Carr is either on football team, whatever their name is going to be next year, or the Giants. Do not be surprised if that happens, because the Daniel Jones experiment's over.
And the funny thing
that's over. That's over.
And they just fired Jason Garrett to try to save Daniel Jones, but it's
it's a wrap.
Can't save
it's
him.
over. And the funny thing is, Derek Carr's going to go on one of these teams, and he's going to light it up.
Yep.
If
he goes to the Giants right now, the Giants are a good situation as far as offense.
The Giants are a playoff team with David Carr.
Their offensive line isn't great, but if they could keep Saquon healthy and they could keep Kenny Golladay on the field, Kenny Golladay, Evan Ingram stinks, but like they can figure that out. Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, they're a good wide receiving room. They have an unbelievable running back who needs to stay healthy. You give them a good quarterback, they're a playoff team. Mm-hmm. And they have a good defense.
And a half-decent offensive coordinator, too.
And well, now not anymore. I don't know who's going to call their offense now. If it's Freddie Kitchens, that's a problem.
I know. It's Freddie Kitchens.
No, I take back everything.
Freddie Kitchens, the offensive coordinator, had the Browns looking crazy.
Yeah,
Freddie Kitchens, the head coach, was absolutely terrible.
Because you could hide Baker. When Baker's in that same situation where it's like, man, he stinks when he has to throw the ball 30 times. But if you hide him behind the running game, you could do the same thing you do with Tannehill.
But that's what I'm saying. If there's talent on that Giants team, I think Freddie Kitchens can do something with it.
I don't know, because Daniel Jones can't hold the ball when he's in the pocket, and he can't he turns over the ball too much.
He's an historically just
we dealt with Sam Darnold, who couldn't keep the ball to himself, but Sam Darnold didn't have a fumbling problem as well. My favorite Daniel Jones moment is when Jamal Blitzboy, the best in the nation, runs in there on a blitz and just yanks his chain just right off the neck and just runs it in for a touchdown. That's one of the best highlights I've ever seen in my life. And that's the sum up of Daniel Jones's career. He has that moment, and he has the 60-yard run where he ends up falling.
Yeah.
Against the Eagles.
Yeah, Derek Carr, man. I just add to it, yeah, man. Derek Carr, what would he do without, Henry Ruggs, what is he going to do without him? Look at him right now. He's just completely a terrible quarterback. So, when you lose Tyreek Hill reincarnated, it's going to make you look bad. You know what I'm saying? So,
Carr misses Ruggs, and I think Ruggs misses his car.
No, don't be serious, dude. Derek Carr is actually a pretty decent quarterback from what I've seen. I was banging the table for him, I remember, that same year that he got drafted, but the Jets never do what I expect them to do. They don't listen to me. They do whatever. But I think he goes somewhere else. I think he needs to have a different he needs to have a change of scenery. I think the Raiders are going to blow this thing up. I think Mayock is done. He's falling right behind Gruden. They're going to look for a coach, and they're going to say, hey, listen, start this from the ground up. We have some pieces. Take what you want. Don't be surprised if they start dangling Waller as well too, since he's going to be interested for a payday. They may try to get him for some valuable pieces. I think their window right now might actually close for the Raiders. They might just bring in a brand new regime, and it's a storied franchise. So you'll be able to find a coach that might want to be able to take this through, like maybe a young coach or something like that. I think the coach from Carolina might be a name to watch.
Who, the offensive coordinator?
Joe Brady.
Joe Brady?
Joe Brady. He's going to be a hot commodity. It's an offensive league. Go on the West Coast, put his name out there. I think don't be surprised if you see his name come up for the coaching spots when it comes to the Raiders.
You could call me a Jets fanboy before we move on, but there's a certain former head coach of the New York Jets that I think would be unbelievable for the Raiders and Raider Nation. And his name
Don't
is
say
Ryan.
it. Don't say
Ryan.
it.
Rex Ryan. I think there's two places that I think Rex Ryan would take on the personality of the city and of the fan base. One of them's an NFL team. One of them is a college team. If he goes to the Raiders and he gets to be the Raiders, the black hole, he gets to be everything that the Raiders fans remember and were, the Raiders Nation would love him for it because he's going to go in there, he's going to talk his shit, he's going to say fuck Pat Mahomes, and everybody's going to love him. And the other one's University of Miami. Bring the swagger back. You invented swagger. Rex Ryan is that coach that brings the swagger with him. And he's going to bring in guys who are going to want to play tough, punch you in the mouth football. And I think with a guy like Josh Jacobs and bringing in a smarter defensive mind, I think it could work. But that's just me. I have a soft spot for Rex Ryan.
I don't know. I think Rex might
He may be done. I think he's washed too. Yeah. But I miss his personality on the football field.
Yeah, Rex always holds a special place for a lot of New Yorkers anyway. So, and New York Jets fans and just the football career. He's just like must watch TV because of his personality, and it's always come from his dad. So that whole family's always been like a bunch of characters. But
except for Rob.
Even Rob in New Orleans was like a character, man.
But I think we've gone on long enough. James, you can go ahead and take over.
I think we're gonna move on to some basketball talk. What is the whole thing about LeBron and Enes Kanter? I didn't really read into it. Have you guys been listening?
Yeah, so from what I heard and from what I've seen, Kanter is saying that LeBron isn't doing it. So the most recent thing, we'll back it up from there, is Enes Kanter said that LeBron is his teammates that even played for him or even play for him now think that he's a fake. And they also he also feels like LeBron doesn't do enough, he would say, when it comes to the issues that are, not just facing, like, I guess, the black community, but just all people in general. So I feel like he has an issue with LeBron as a result of that. And I think it mainly stems from, again, that whole issue that happened with China and LeBron being silent about it and not even talking about it because, again, LeBron has a huge, huge market in China. So he was, it's clear as day. Like, we know why LeBron didn't say anything, just like we didn't know why most of the NBA didn't say anything when that whole situation happened. Because they're protecting they're protecting their financial interests, right? LeBron's coming out with a movie. There's a lot of things that he can't afford to have, get disrupted during that time. So he kind of basically alluded to LeBron choosing the dollar over his character at the end of the day, And then they went into Michael Jordan and all this other stuff. So, yeah, that's what I got from it.
So all of that is true. He's had this imaginary beef with LeBron for years, stemming back to that you said, Rise. And then recently, the reason that he brought it, I'm assuming it came up. I don't know if you guys have heard. I really hope I'm not pronouncing her name wrong, but Pei Swing, I believe is the tennis player's name. Forgive me if I said that wrong. She's a tennis player, nationally ranked. She came out a few weeks ago accusing one of the higher ranking Chinese officials of sexually abusing her and forcing her to have sex with him. And she came out on social media. She said that, and then literally within 3 to 4 days, she disappeared.
Yeah,
she disappeared. She hasn't been heard from until, as I know, as of Sunday. She made the Chinese government released her at an event, but people don't think that was her. And this has become a national political story because she has disappeared and the Chinese government is acting like they don't know anything about it, and it's all a coincidence that she has just disappeared off the face of the earth. right after she accused one of these officials of this. So, and this being, he's from Turkey. He's international. He's up on all of these stories, and this is a big story. And LeBron hasn't said anything about it yet. And the Lakers were playing the Celtics, and it's decided to get some custom sneakers made with the Chinese. I don't know if he's considered a dictator, prime minister. I don't know what his title is. He's the ruler of China, putting a crown on LeBron's head to go along with the accusations that LeBron doesn't do anything because it's
Kim
China.
Jong?
So that was the whole.
No, that's Korea.
No, Xi, President
South
Xi.
Korea. Yeah.
Yeah, Prime Minister
So
Xi.
that was
President
the
Xi.
whole thing with LeBron and cancer.
Dylan put an ant there.
Got it.
I don't know how you guys feel about it. I mean, cancer makes a very good point. I understand where he's coming from. I also understand that he's trying to raise awareness for it, and the best way to do that is to use the face of the league, which is LeBron James. I wouldn't have gone about it that way. I feel like with LeBron's track record, he easily could have reached out and just asked, be like, yo, are you aware of this? Say something. LeBron saying something about this would have made it a bigger story, would have helped instead of attacking him and to find out, as LeBron says it, Enos hasn't said anything to him about it. So to me, that's kind of a punk move. Like, you could have just went up to that man and said you had a problem with him, and you didn't. And then when y'all
I don't
played,
think anybody. I don't really know much about the situation, but I don't think anybody is like handling it the correct way on either side. So
I think that if there's anybody in the NBA who is in a space to talk about oppression and the government being against something, it's him, because his family is literally a target of the Turkish government, and he is like I don't know if it's the term the term is wanted by the Turkish government, but he has a problem with international. He has a problem with international travel and all that stuff because the Turkish government is out for him. So if anybody is able to speak about this, it would be Cantor. The problem is talk is cheap, talk about it or be about it. And he had an opportunity. I didn't know much about the situation, but I think this all goes back to just, if you have an opportunity to bring light or awareness to something, use your platform to it or get somebody to it. And I think the sneaker thing is funny. I love petty stuff, but there is a way you can go about this and bring awareness to it the correct way, which goes back to what James is saying, where it's like, it's not nobody's going about it the right way. LeBron's obviously not going to talk about it because of money. That's literally how that goes. That's what makes the world go around. We get it. We don't expect him to do it when it comes to that stuff. If it's anything locally in the United States or North America, expect something to go. But if it's more of a world issue, you're not really going to hear about it. That's kind of how it goes, unfortunately. But then when you have the international stuff going on in your league is becoming more and more an international league, and the popularity of the league is so vastly growing, even in China, you have to kind of be careful for the league.
It's a tightrope. It's a tightrope.
Be careful for the league, because now you just lost a ton of money. And granted, there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna be like, well, fuck it, what's right is right. And in some circumstances, yes, but for the financial interest of the league, it may not be great for a couple players. We talk about the Chinese government when you have contracts.
They don't play. The Chinese government does not play Houston Rocket games, or I have to double check. I don't believe they're playing Sixer games either, because Morey is now with the Sixers.
And the crazy thing was, the Houston Rockets were the Chinese team.
Yep.
When 2002? Yao Ming, and then even McGrady, who is arguably the most famous Chinese player outside of China ever. Houston was the team.
Starbury.
Well, now, yeah,
him and
Starberry, man.
the Ducks. How he had over there.
But
the
I know what
Shanghai
you mean, though.
Sharks.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. I don't blame Enos for doing that because his bag has always been international anyway. Um, because what I can say is that he's always been an advocate also for like African American rights and pretty much all rights across the board. So for him, like he's like, okay, the biggest face of our franchise who could probably make the biggest noise on an international scale, even more. He's trying to be saying even more than I can is LeBron James, right? And like NBA players talk to each other, they know, right? So I don't even think the idea of like him thinking that he can't talk to LeBron and have a private conversation and LeBron's just going to do it or something like that. I think that he already knew there's no shot that LeBron's going to get involved with this at all. I think he got that impression, if not already privately, what happened earlier with Maury in China and that whole situation. And I think he knows also privately amongst NBA players as they talk and they know each other that he's not going to get involved with this anyway. And he's frustrated about that because he's like, all human rights are important, and like just because they're greasing your pockets, what I'm saying, doesn't make what's happening right. Right. And so this is his only way of being able to put LeBron on the spot for that. And he feels like it's a hypocrisy, because it's not the problem. I think with Enes Kanter is that I need him to go a little bit further, right? I feel like LeBron is an easy target. I think if he really wants to get his idea across, he needs to go at Adam Silver because going at LeBron is another person in the league, right? But LeBron doesn't pay his paycheck, right? If he really is about that, he needs to go at the man and the owners to pay him. But he's still trying to protect his interest to some extent, even if he's put himself out there. He's not completely jumping out the window because he still needs to get paid. So LeBron James is like almost, I would say, the closest he can get to making noise on the manner that he wants to. But if he really feels that way and very strongly about this, he needs to don't put the crown on LeBron. You put the crown on Adam Silver's head. You put the crown on the owner of the Celtics head, all these other guys and everyone who's if it's not about money, then you're willing to put your paycheck on the line, not just affect LeBron's and make him look like a negative way because that also affects him, right? What if all of a sudden now people on Twitter start talking about, well, LeBron James is a fraud and he's a hypocrite. Now he may lose some endorsements or he may get rallied against. You never know, right? What may
Mickey
happen?
Mouse ring,
right? He may start getting things taken from him because they're like, oh well, now I think about it, LeBron he doesn't say anything about this stuff, right?
Yeah, it starts to get a microscope on him.
Yeah, so it's like I think that's just like for me, I don't blame him for what he's doing. I wish the target was the right target, right? Because he's quiet when it comes to people that are paying his salary and affording the life of luxury that he has, but he decides that LeBron is the second best thing. So let me do that. And I think this situation, there is no compromise. You either go big or go home. So I think Kendra dropped the ball on that, and that's where I digress with what he's doing because I
think it's a very low hanging fruit type of situation with Cantor, and he's hoping that it has a trickle down effect, or he's hoping for LeBron's voice for him to say something and to draw that attention. But yeah, like I said before, I just think that it's not being taken in the correct pathway to be done right. So
yeah, I think it's low hanging fruit, like you said, James. And like I said, I don't know. It just seems hollow. I think he actually has a problem with LeBron. I think he just really does not like LeBron. But the problem with that is LeBron's not the only person that has a Nike contract. He could have went after a whole bunch of guys because his problem was LeBron's association with Nike. That was his problem. And then why didn't you say anything about Zion Williams? Why didn't you say anything about Kyrie Irving? Why didn't you say anything about Carmelo Anthony? Why didn't you say why?
KD,
There's a number
KD.
of players he could have went after. I believe Jason Tatum is on Nike. Is he on Nike?
He's a Jordan
Jordan
athlete,
brand.
so yeah.
He's a Jordan. So there you go. That's a Nike. He has a teammate that has this. So you're criticizing LeBron, but you're ignoring your own teammate on your team that also wears these shoes and also is sponsored and getting money from China. And so like it just his point I think is correct, but his way about it I just don't agree because it makes him look like a hypocrite. So it's and
Execution
like I said,
definitely
and I
could
have
be
a
much
problem
better.
with the execution could have been better. And like I said,
Much better.
it just bothers me that he didn't say anything to LeBron. And like LeBron said, we was in the hallway before the game. He walked right past me. Then come on. Then what are we doing this for? Now it looks like you're doing this for clout. It looks like you're doing this for clout now. So
But I honestly don't believe that
that's-
a personal conversation with LeBron James gets any of them anywhere. Like LeBron James
but
is
I mean,
far
as
too
a,
deep
you're
into the
criticizing
China
him as
pot.
you're criticizing him as a man though. You're criticizing him as
Yeah,
a man though. So man to man, talk to him.
I don't think LeBron would even take the conversation.
yeah.
with him
Like, what would
because
that
they have the
conversation
beef.
even be like? Like if he
You
were to
never
come
know
up and say,
until
we're
you go
just
up
say,
to him.
"Hey, LeBron, I want you to help me advocate and criticize China right now." LeBron's like, "Ah, man, I'm out. Can't do that." Like, what is LeBron going to say to him? Like,
At least if
what
you
does LeBron
have
want?
that, you have
Like,
something.
that's semantics, though.
Exactly, but he has
That's
something
window
though.
dressing.
But he can
But
go
that's
up to
window
LeBron
dressing.
and go, "Hey, did you hear? Did you hear about this this incident with the tennis player?"
Of course,
LeBron
LeBron has heard of that.
very may not have heard about it because I didn't hear about it until literally 2 days before Cantor said something about it.
I
So,
didn't even hear
I
about it
didn't
and
know.
didn't know
Me
about the
either.
situation.
Exactly. Like, and LeBron is a lot busier than we are, so it's possible LeBron could have just not heard about it.
But I'm telling you right now,
But
if
see,
Cantor
see,
tried to have a conversation with LeBron, would be like, "Miss me with that."
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
ASAP.
let's say, all right,
But we
now
don't
LeBron
know.
He's
doesn't
not going to
know.
talk to Kenner at all
We're
at first
assuming.
because they just don't get along.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's what I'm
That
trying to say.
too.
Like,
I
there's
think
also that
didn't the
too.
beef start when Cantor was on the Knicks? And LeBron
Yes.
had that situation with was it
LeBron
LeBron
Keith
said
King or
something
Anoya?
about
something,
Dennis
the King
Smith.
or something.
Yeah, he said something about Dennis Smith.
Yeah.
And Cantor thought it was disrespectful to Ntilikina. And then
because he did the dunk or had the play, and then he kept just like bumping into Ntilikina on the inbound.
they got tangled, and then he was quick to jump in LeBron's face, and then ever since then he's just not liked LeBron for some reason. But the King, LeBron's had a long week, so we had that, and then we was all happy. LeBron came back his first game. All right, the Lakers are going to turn it around, and no. LeBron starts World War III in Detroit with Isaiah Stewart, elbows him in the face. I don't think it was an elbow. I think it was a smack.
It was a fist.
But,
It's like a backhanded fist.
It was a fist.
Before we get into the assumptions, I think that it was a pull away, and it just happened to connect.
Yeah, but it was a pull away
That's-
swing.
you don't-
So
the
he was.
pull
That's
away
how
up
I
here.
thought of it too.
You pull away,
Like-
It definitely
Still,
was a
like,
get the
this-
fuck off
this-
me type of move.
Yeah,
It wasn't meant to hit him in the face, but it was more so like a get the fuck
yeah,
off
it
me.
was more to be aggressive. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
And
You're like,
And
yo,
LeBron
get
only
off.
tried-
Like, get off.
he only tried to
And he
defuse
hit
the
him in the
situation
face?
once Isaiah Stewart looked like he was trying to like hurt him. It wasn't.
Nah,
Oh,
you
no,
know,
when he went
when he
down,
did that,
when he went down,
he-
LeBron instantly went over there like, oh,
Yeah,
my
he
bad,
went over
bro,
to
my
him.
bad.
I
And
think
it's just-
I think it stunned him, and then he was upset. He was calming down, and then I think everybody around him started hyping it up, and then he felt and saw the blood. I think when he saw the blood,
Correct.
that's
He
when
tasted it and
he lost it,
everything. He's
because
like, yeah.
now it goes to the street mountain like, you just hit me in the face and I'm bleeding
on national television.
on
and
national
you gotta be looking
TV.
crazy. Yeah,
it
Like,
definitely
you gotta-
warranted
now
a
he's going
reaction,
crazy,
but
and-
not that big.
Not
Yeah,
that crazy.
there's
I don't know
three
if you
things in the
look-
situation that are my favorite. Right?
LeBron
It's
being unbothered, I think, bothered him too.
my three favorite things are the announcer
making sure that he tells everybody in the arena to stay in their seat while it's going on
Mason,
to prevent
man,
another
that's my
malice
guy,
at the
Mason.
palace. So great job there. There is Isaiah Stewart saying, "Okay, I'm good," and then immediately running backwards, pushing through the smaller security guards, and I think it was Cade Cunningham who was like half-assed trying to stop him.
No,
and
you
then,
gotta say the police officer that just was like,
yeah, and then you have Russ who's sitting there like this,
squaring up behind DeAndre Jordan, squaring
for
up.
what? What that whole situation is like a Family Guy skit. Like everything happens and it just goes left.
Crazy.
Like it's unbelievable.
Man.
What a sight.
So,
it didn't warrant all of that.
Before you go, Roz, I'm gonna let you go with it, Roz. But we do have a question on the scroll. So the question is, was the play dirty?
Yeah, that's what I was going to jump into. I think it was. I think it's just your typical dirty play, but it's nothing like, it's no different than a dirty play of Shaq throwing an elbow because he's frustrated because you're pulling on him and everything like that. Like there's been guys that have felt different things or felt a certain way, or a push from behind, or like honestly, if the blood is what made it worse, and I think it's because of the place it made contact. But I don't see like what LeBron did being any different than actually let me be honest with this. I don't think it's worse than what Jokic did when he charged behind Morris and just pretty much like forearm shivered him in the back. Yeah. It's just a reaction type of thing. They could have been worse. Like, LeBron could have hit him in his eye socket and broke his orbital bone. Yeah, sure, that could have been worse. Just like if Jokic hit Morris and he fell a certain way and hit his head, that could have been worse too. But I just don't see how it's a dirty play. I mean, it's okay. It happened. It's a dirty play. Does that make LeBron a dirty player? No, I don't think it makes him a dirty player. But again, it is a dirty play, and I feel like, as far as I know, a lot of superstars have a dirty play throughout their career, like one or two. It's just like in the moment they were losing by a lot. He got chippy at the foul line. So I mean, hey, and he faced the consequences, and LeBron has definitely felt remorse immediately, and he tried to talk. I found out that LeBron also reached out and tried to get his cell phone number. I don't know how that went, but at the same time, it's like it's a dirty play. But it's nothing to the point where, Ian Stewart should have tried to incite another malice at the palace. That was insane. Watching him bulldoze like 4 people, I was like, oh man, this is really getting crazy right now. And it's like, it's really not that serious. Like, you know what I'm saying?
This is the same guy that tried to bully Blake Griffin.
Yeah, he tried to fight Blake Griffin like 2 weeks ago. I saw that happen. Like when my first introduction to Isaiah Stewart was last season. In like it was the debut night of like the '90s Nets jerseys, and we were playing the Pistons. And Isaiah Stewart flashes out to me because he's like an athlete. He's like a genetic freak when it comes to that, like his body build and stuff. I'm like, who's the football player on the court? Because he's running around recklessly and he was shooting like a football player does, just chucking bricks up. And I'm just like, this dude's wild. Why is he out here? He's like a toro. Like he's a bull. I'm like, why is he out here? And then I see this stuff happen 2 weeks ago. I'm like, all right, get this guy off the court. And then last night, I'm like, this guy's dangerous.
My fault. I called him Ian. I'm definitely getting confused. It's definitely Isaiah Stewart.
And I'm just like, this guy seems like he could be a hothead where it's just like if one thing goes, he's just gonna try to fight. So I'm here for all that. As long as everybody's safe and there's not another malice and people are just like boxing in the basketball court, I'm cool. Like 5-minute major for fighting, like it's a hockey or something, but like that's wild. Man, that's only the second time in LeBron's career where he got ejected.
Yep.
Twice.
Which is also like
that's like we have to career.
We have to stop the Skip Bayless. It might be. I'd have to check that. Yeah, this Skip Bayless narrative that all of a sudden LeBron's a dirty player and
LeBron's just a savage animal.
He just snapped on the free throw line, and I couldn't believe listening to Skip describe LeBron stopped and turned and looked and hit him with the elbow, then closed his fist and smacked him in the face. Like, bro, none of that happened. None of that happened.
Roz
And
was
I
you in the
agree, Roz.
chat
I
too.
think
Like
it was he was trying. He was trying.
you almost fell
I
for
think
it. I had to reel you back.
Who?
He almost fell for your antics in the chat when you was like,
Oh
"Yo,
yeah.
I was reading. I was
James
like, this is
understands.
great.
Like James happens to have this crazy intuition about when I'm actually in troll mode.
I
So
saw it
I
immediately. I
have to
didn't
switch.
even
nah."
acknowledge
I have to
it. I
switch
was like,
up.
this is great.
I have to switch up because James knows when I'm being serious, when I'm trolling, and I have to give something. I'm giving away some type of cue. I don't know what it is.
There's a
I have to
certain
switch up
guy
a little bit.
in this group here who's not here right now, who was deep into it with you. That savage animal LeBron James. Anthony was ready to go off about that for no reason. No
He
reason.
thought you was serious and he was gonna back you up.
And he probably went
He
into this
was
like, yeah,
ready for
Raz
war.
got my back. He's got my back. We're gonna go in there. Raz is gonna say all this. He goes, what?
Nah, man, it's just a troll. You know, like sometimes I get a kick out of it. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, nah, LeBron's not a dirty player, man. Not at all. Not
No, it
even
was a
close to nothing I
reckless.
would
It was
say.
a reckless play. He
Yeah,
shouldn't. He got to be more careful. I
yeah, he
don't
shouldn't have
think.
done it.
I don't think he should have actually been suspended. I think the only reason he got suspended is because Stewart turned into the Incredible Hulk and
Yeah.
made it hot and made it a national news story. So at that point, they had to suspend him, and you can't suspend him without suspending Braun, who hit him in the face. So
Yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't
correct.
suspend Stewart longer. Like he didn't. I thought it was gonna be suspended at least until the next week, where
You know
they
what I'm
play the
thinking?
Lakers.
Because there's
2
no
games.
punches thrown. That's why.
Yeah, 2 games. I'm not 2 games is about
Because
what
they
I
play
thought.
again like next
Maybe
Wednesday.
3. Yeah.
So like
And-
I would make sure. I would probably think that maybe they may not let him play that.
Nah,
game.
they're gonna let him
Well,
play.
what's
for
going to
the
No, they're
happen?
gonna
What's
play.
going to happen
It's
when they play?
flex to national TV.
Is they're going to have
Oh
their
yeah,
most
I'm about to say
senior
you think
officials. Yeah, they're going to have
Cold,
their most
close,
senior
ticky-tack
officials.
fouls.
The first quarter, they're going to call everything. All this physical play that we've been seeing all year and all the players complaining, not in the first
Gone.
quarter of that game. Not in the first quarter. They are going to call
The refs are gonna control that game
everything.
in the beginning.
The second tip-off hits, you get a double technical on LeBron and Stewart just to make sure they're all set, because then it's a immediate suspension after. Warning, technical for looking at
They're
each
gonna
other.
do the MLB, the warning.
Yep.
When the umpires, all right, your whole bench is warned. Your whole bench is warned.
If y'all
So,
look
but
at
it's
each other,
must-see TV.
flagrant
I can't
2, you're out of here.
Oh yeah, if you think the NBA is going to miss up on the opportunity to allow like a juicy storyline like that to not be on national
TV,
television,
on ESPN.
you lost your mind.
The only
And
thing
I
the
think
NBA
that
regrets about
you know
it is
how
it's not a
mad
higher
the
profile team.
Exactly. You know how mad the NBA probably was that they had to suspend LeBron tonight
Oh,
for a
yeah.
national TV game
Oh,
against
yeah.
the
Against
Knicks.
the Knicks?
Oh, yeah. And it would have been fishy had they delayed it. So they were in a lose-lose situation. If all of a sudden you heard a suspension came out for LeBron James after this Knicks game, then the fix is in. Right?
It was pretty swift,
So,
though. I didn't think a LeBron James decision was going to be as swift as it was.
No, they had to, because if you don't suspend him until after this Knicks game in real time, it's WWE. The fix is in. The fix is in.
Ring the bell.
Silver could have literally came. Silver would have, for me, if they did that, Silver could have literally came on national television and said, "Mankind is winning the WWF Championship tonight." And I'd be like, "Yeah, all right, cool. Like, it's finally true." And then and so they had to do it, because it's like you can't. The integrity of the league is like, I don't. Listen, the money I'm sure is great, but there are certain things, being a commissioner of a league like that, those little nuances, it's probably just mind numbing. Like Adam Silver, he has no hair for a reason, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Did you see the discrepancy in contract that they're missing out for their suspension?
It's
it's LeBron's only losing like $235,000, and then Isaiah Stewart is 10% of that.
Yeah, but can you imagine how how terrible like he has to feel as a commissioner to sacrifice a
The
Knicks
face of the league.
Laker game.
When the
And
Knicks
then
are actually, when both teams are good, well, they're both playing 500, but like there's buzz
Competitive.
around both teams. Both teams have expectations this year.
They're two
Carmelo's
historical
going-
franchises,
so
even if
many
they weren't.
storylines. So many storylines.
And they're
Carmelo's
doing this whole
return to the
75
Garden.
anniversary thing.
That anniversary
That
thing.
hurt Adam. That hurt Adam.
LeBron.
That
Like
hurt him so.
to have to sacrifice that, and then
Even starting off really basic, like the referees felt bad to even say that they had to eject him. Did you see the referees?
oh yeah, when he put his head down, he
Yeah.
was like, oh.
He's like double ejection, and then the crowd went he was like
Yeah,
LeBron.
yeah, technical. And you know what? And it's okay because this was what makes again the NBA great is that somehow you sacrifice a Knicks and Lakers primetime game, and you somehow turn a Pistons Lakers game at this juncture into a primetime game.
Must-see
So,
TV.
and I mean,
if
you had to draw it up for like now you got the small market teams. I'm
There you
sure
go.
nothing would make the NBA happier.
Yeah, it's
to
like a
have
Jimmy
one of those-
Butler, TJ Warren type of thing.
Yeah, to have like a small market team right now, the Detroit Pistons, to all of a sudden start now tethering themselves to a major player like the Los Angeles Lakers. And now 2 games or more that you thought were just a wash throughout the year, ratings wise, you just found hidden gold. And it just happened. Like
And
now
what a
every
boost for
game.
that fan base is too. Like they're
yeah.
juiced up now. Now it's like, all right, when we get the Lakers, all right, let's
It's the last game
let's
of the
play.
season that they're gonna
Let's
play
fight.
too. They're
Like,
gonna
let's go.
they're gonna
Let's
be
go to
riled
war.
up.
This
If
next
it
game
was-
is going to be
it's gonna
sold
be-
out.
It's gonna be in LA too, right? It's gonna be at the Crypto Center.
at the crypto.com
Yep.
center. Yes.
At Crypto,
The crypto arena. It's the crypto.
That game's going to be sold out.
Did you
Detroit
see them
fans
in
are gonna be
the press
there.
Detroit
conference?
fans going to be there.
They see them at the press conference talking to Russ. They're like, "Oh, what do you guys think about playing at the Crypt?" And Russ is like, "Excuse me." He goes, "The Crypt. You gonna be playing at the Crypt?" And Russ is just like, "I don't even know what you're talking about, bro."
Yeah.
Russ
Like,
didn't even know he got
you know
attacked
exactly
from
what he's
last
talking
game.
about, Russ.
That's just money.
I still won't call it the
I think calling it the
crypto.com
Crypt
arena.
is
I
cool.
still won't.
I think the
Still
Crypt
won't.
is gonna be way cooler than calling it the crypto.com arena. That's terrible.
You're going to have to give me a year, man. You have to give me a
You
year.
got to give me more than a year. I'm not
You gotta
calling
give
it
me a
that.
You
year.
have to give
man.
me more than a year, too.
They got to
right?
get rid of
That's
the big
gonna be
red sign that
Staples
says
Center.
Staples. You got to get rid of all
Exactly.
that.
Like, it's going to say
Yeah.
crypto.com now. Like,
Now I'm
What
wondering
are
what's
we
the Clippers
doing?
arena is going to be called.
You're going to have to give me a mascot. You're going to have to really change it up. You know what I'm saying? For me to be like, okay, crypto.com.
Yeah,
You
mascots
can't
don't have
even
a
remotely
mascot.
like the
Y'all might
Staples
as well
Center.
get a mascot now, Roz. Y'all might as well get a mascot now.
Make him a giant Bitcoin or something. Who knows? Like, whatever. And
Well,
have
the
him
whole
dance
league is
around.
investing in crypto, like as far as like their shit goes. Like the Nets are sponsored by Webull. They got Coinbase. They got all that stuff all over the place. So
Yeah.
the digital currency is becoming everything. Like, isn't Dinwiddie's contract finally converted to Bitcoin too?
That's
Like,
what
Yeah.
Something like
that's what OBJ just did.
OBJ's
About to
contract
say that
now
the
is being
sign on.
in
Yeah,
Bitcoin,
OBJ's.
which is
That's
pretty
big.
cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool because then that could either fluctuate greatly for him or be volatile and he loses a ton of money. But at the end of the day, he's already a millionaire. Who cares?
Yeah.
So that's a cool way
Yeah.
to see non-regulated currency is becoming the way to pay people.
He's got a baby on the way. He's probably gonna put that in that kid's name. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yep. Probably exactly what he's going to do.
All those non-fungible tokens and NFTs.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
let's stay with the fight game. And move on. There was a little bit of boxing this weekend. I would say the number 2 pound for pound fighter in the world, boxing. That's definitely up for debate. But Bud Crawford getting the stoppage win over Sean Porter and I would say his first major fight.
Yeah.
Like, he's won the belts, he's done all of that, but this was his first major pay-per-view against a legit top 5 opponent. And he looked phenomenal.
Sean Porter hasn't won any fights in his last 4. He's been taking some L's, but he is competitive.
And it was a competitive fight. I had to fight 3-3 after 6. I thought it was a competitive fight. Sean came to play, and then he got hit with a mean body punch, and it all went downhill from there.
He lost to some notable people though. He lost to who? Thurman.
He's only lost to Thurman, Spence, Crawford, and I believe Cal Brook. That's it. That's not a bad list to say you lost to. And to be a multi-time world champion at that. So, I mean, Sean Porter, who retired after the fight, it's a good career. The real drama, I don't know if anybody saw the post-fight with his father coming in. And I talk about throwing somebody under the bus. His father threw him under, got in the car, and drove the bus over him.
So I didn't hear the press conference. I thought we were going to talk about how Homeboy was just like, because isn't he a free agent after this?
Oh, Crawford? Yes.
Yeah, he's a free agent too, because he's like, well, Aram's not getting me these fights. Maybe I should go somewhere else.
Yes, he ethered Bob Arum in the post fight. Yes,
which is like perfect. Shit on boxing every chance you get, because all these promoters are ruining boxing.
Mm-hmm.
They're making it so difficult to have the best fight the best, and make like boxing is so good. There's so much money in boxing, but when you have so many people preventing it to try to make everybody undefeated and look great against bums, it makes boxing a joke. It makes it an absolute joke where it's like, I'm not going to sit here and gas at the UFC, but when you actually have power rankings and you really fight the best every single time and you work your way up the rankings and you do everything correctly, that's how it should be done.
What's crazy is people are starting to hear. Well, it's been mumbles about Bob Arum for years, but Floyd has been said this. He has been said this 10 years ago about them not getting along, not coming to terms for fights and stuff like that, contractual things, and everybody always thought that it was just Floyd not wanting to fight people.
That's why the Pacquiao fight took so long to make.
You know, so like it's really good to hear someone. It sucks that Bud had to go through that, but it's really good to hear somebody else, you know, voicing their gripes about Bob Arum and how he runs things. But going back to Sean Porter's father, is just like yeah, I mean, right words, wrong time to say it, I feel like. But hey, I mean,
what was said? I don't know exactly what was said.
He basically worded it saying that I threw the towel in because I felt like there was nothing that my son can do to defend himself, and Bud was just overly sharp. And then the reason why the fight went the way it went is because guys don't want to listen to what is being said during training camp, and they get to this status where they just don't want to listen, and they think that they can just walk in shape and fight these guys. And you saw how it went.
I might be able to cue it up, James. I might be able to cue it up. Let me know if y'all can.
And that's verbatim. That's verbatim.
What prompted you to stop?
Is that clear?
Honestly, it's preparation. He didn't prepare like I wanted him to prepare. So that's just, that just makes me say, you know what? I don't want him in that situation. He fought a great fighter. The guy's super sharp, and he's at a deficit. It's like fighting this guy blindfolded when you're in a deficit like that. So I wasn't going to let that happen to him. He looks in great shape, but only you knew what happened in the gym. How would you have liked for him to prepare that you didn't see? Well, I mean, when the guys get to certain levels, they believe they know what they're doing, and they don't necessarily take all the information. So, this is where we at with it, and I had to make that decision. It's an easy decision for me. It's easy. He lives right across the street from me. I'll be having breakfast with him in the morning. It's easy. Andre Ward said you didn't stop it because of what happened there. It was about what you were seeing could happen. Was that accurate? Oh, no, definitely what he did. And Sean was hurt. And moving forward, this guy is, like I said, he's a sharp fighter. And my kid is at a deficit at that point. He can't defend himself like he should, and I had to protect him.
I get it, but man, right after the loss,
Yeah, like
that was
being
the
in your corner.
in-ring post-fight interview. That was the
Talk
Right
about
after the
being
loss.
in your son's corner, you know. That's
like,
just crazy.
and I'm all for protecting the fighter, and I'm all for that, but I'm also like, let your guy go out on his shield too. Like, you guys put in your whole training camp to do that, which could be however long, anywhere from 6 weeks, 9 weeks plus, right? For you to do all that work, for you to cut the fight short, I get it, right? I get it, to protect the fighter and from what could happen, but what happens if something just clicked and he's back in, or he takes the lead in the fight? Like, you're not even giving yourself a puncher's chance at that point, right? And it's not like he was getting the ever-living shit kicked out of him, where he needed to protect him. Like in the Anthony Smith Glover Teixeira fight, where Anthony Smith was literally getting his teeth knocked out, and his corner was letting him fight. That he should have gotten the towel thrown in. Like, they should have stopped the fight. In a competitive fight like that, you let your guys go, or else you wasted your training camp. But again, as a father, I understand, and as a boxing fan, I understand too. But yeah, that's tough to do directly after the fight when you got your fucking son still in the ring,
standing right next to you,
standing right next to him. And as for eating breakfast in the morning, fuck you, Dad. You're not eating breakfast tomorrow. You threw in the fight. You threw in the towel in the fight. What are we doing?
I mean, that knockdown, was that a multiple knockdown round?
Two knockdowns in that round. The first one,
automatic 10-8.
The first one was a flash. He just caught him with a pretty punch. He popped right back up. Second one, when he stopped, he was hurt. When he stopped him, he was hurt, but he wasn't separated from his senses.
Though. He was like,
he wasn't separated from his senses.
That he got caught and he couldn't really do much.
There was nothing that he could do. Now, I will say this, Dylan. I get what you're saying. That fight was over. He was.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Bud was gonna put him down one more time, and that fight was over. So it's better to stop it early than late.
Porter would probably rather that though. So you let him fight.
As a fighter, you want to go out on your shield.
He wants to go out.
Because again, you just put in all this time, everything, training, cutting weight, eating right, working out 2 a days, 3 a days, all this stuff for your fight to get taken away from you. That's how I see it. And again, I get it. I understand it. The corner's got a job to do, and you got to protect your fighter. You got to protect your son. But like, he'd rather get knocked out and put away than have the fight taken away from him, because now he has an argument for just like, I could have gone out there and I could have knocked him down. I could have knocked him out. Who's saying I couldn't have happened? Exactly. So now he's got doubt in his mind, and now it's going to give him either a false sense of confidence, or his confidence is going to be gone for a bit.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. I was watching the fight live with my dad, and he brought up a good point that when you hear him say that the training, the preparation wasn't good, well, you're the head trainer. That's your fault.
Yeah,
it's your responsibility. It's your job. You're paid to make sure that he's ready. So if you don't think that he's ready, that's actually your fault. Yep. Yeah,
but you gotta also come into play that when you have a father-son training camp, things like that happen. Yeah, it's a blurred line. You know, it happens. Yep. You know, especially if your son is the breadwinner and you're the trainer. Sometimes it's like he said. He's like, when you have these training camps and they think that they're end all be all, that they don't need to train the way I'm asking them to. That's a personal conversation that you see is happening right there. That's personal between the two of them. That's just not.
But again, that should be, to me, in my opinion, that should happen behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not in public. Not 5 minutes after the fight ended.
That's why I said right words, wrong time.
Yeah, that's not something you should just throw out there immediately after the fight, after you got homeboy just sitting right next to you as you're talking hella shit about him. Like, that's just just challenged all of his work ethic. You just challenged everything.
Porter handled it the right way. He smiled. He didn't really show disappointment from hearing his dad say that stuff and everything. And I can understand that could be tough in that situation.
Very tough.
Yeah, because you feel kind of betrayed.
I can only imagine how I'm gonna think of it differently here. I can only imagine how his father feels, having to have gone through that, seen all that, and not being able to get that from him. Like, get what's expected out of him. And I'm not gonna sit here and say this is the same situation, but like, I coach my son's stuff, his baseball and all that shit, and I get fucking furious with him when he doesn't pay attention or he's like kind of like out of it. Because when he's in there and he's locked in, he's an animal. He's an absolute animal, throwing from short to first at 6, 7 years old, like ahead of everybody else on the team. Like, it's a great thing to see, but then he's like over there just kicking dirt and playing around and just going blah, 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 blah. Like, it's annoying because I know how good he
said
be. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The situation's not the same, but I understand a little bit what he's going through because I coach an elite athlete. An elite level athlete. Wow. 7.
This is for you, Dylan. I got something for you, Dylan. Finish telling your sad story, man. Let us know how you actually feel.
My son's awesome, though. He's great. I don't have these problems. I had one time where I benched him in the middle of the game. I don't care. T-ball, bro. I said, right, you're going to be... I literally said, no, right, not even next to me, because I'm in the field. I'm in the field with these kids, making sure they don't die. Because there's some kids who's like 14 playing T-ball that shouldn't have been there, and he's hitting dingers. I have to stand in there and take the hit, just in case the line drive hits one of them in the head when they're not paying attention. So I said, Jaden, go to the goddamn dugout. You want to sit here and play around and cry because you didn't get the ball? Dugout. Go fuck off over there.
To the showers.
And then in the middle of the inning, I'm like, you done? You want to play? Yeah, okay. Stop it. Let's go.
He comes back out with the mustache, like Bobby Valentine.
Oh yeah.
With the fake mustache.
He has to realize that he's like Dominican as hell. Like, you can't be doing this. You got to be going out there and playing. It's in your blood, bro. It's in your goddamn blood. Get out there and hit dingers and play shortstop. Damn it.
So I will end this week with this. So they had a very interesting, about 20-minute conversation on the post-fight about, and you heard me allude to it earlier, about who is the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world. Is it Crawford? Is it Canelo? Whose era are we in right now?
It's definitely Canelo.
Canelo, 100%.
I think Canelo is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. But listening to them, Crawford has a very legitimate argument.
Yeah.
He's undefeated. He's won the world. He's won the title in 3 weight classes now. He's knocked out 8 straight opponents, all in title fights.
He's
definitely the
best Teofimo Lopez fight. It would have been Lomachenko for me.
But he lost.
Exactly. If it wasn't for Teofimo, he would have been him.
Here we are.
But
that kid brought it to Lomachenko.
I think it's Canelo.
Yeah, it's Canelo, and it's like crazy to see how, like, you know, like how Canelo actually rose from the ashes of that Floyd defeat, and now he's, you know, we're talking about this right now, which is absolutely nuts.
Too young,
and it's just like I don't know. I don't know what iteration of Canelo beats Floyd though. Like, I can't tell you that right now Canelo would beat Floyd. I can't say that.
It's tough.
But
it's very tough.
It would be better fight.
Floyd is.
It'd be a better fight, but does he still win against that? I still think Floyd out punches him. I think Floyd still lands more than him, and I think it's just closer. I don't think he wins. You know, I don't know. I kind of really like the Gypsy King, man. I think he's shown me something, man.
I love
Tyson
Fury,
man. And I think
That's the
Like
best boxer in the world, though.
best
It's
boxer
just
in the
he's
world.
just
I
so
don't
much
Pound
know.
for
I don't
better
think
than
pound.
so.
everybody else at
I don't
heavyweight.
think pound for pound. I think Canelo would takes the cake for me, but it's just intriguing, man. How
But
Canelo I just kind of had a reflection like
it's kind of
moment,
like the
just
old
like
school thing where it's
yeah,
like if you're the heavyweight champion of the world, you're the man. Like
yeah,
you're the
man. I
baddest
mean,
man walking. You're the
And
heavyweight
it helps
champion of
when
the
you're
world.
6'9", 280. That helps.
Yep.
I mean,
That
hey,
that
man.
helps.
I mean, hey, like he works with what he has, you know, like there's been different types of heavyweights, different body builds, you know, they've all had their own unique things, but I'm not going to take anything away from Tyson Fury, but I think the best pound for pound guy right now for me is probably going to be Canelo. I'll go with that.
There's
I
like certain
haven't
things
just
where
want
it's
to
like
say
even
that.
with Canelo, like what else is there for him to do? Who is there for him to fight?
That's what I'm
Keep going.
saying.
You just got
Like,
to keep
what
fighting
else does he need
whoever's
to
thrown in
do?
front of him and like
Yeah,
keep it pushing. It
and just
sucks.
hope someone literally rises from
That's where fucking boxing sucks. They suck at building stars and no rank. Yeah, don't get me started. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's not in the best of states right
Because
now.
even
But
with Fury, once he beats the other guy, the other champion, I forget his name, the Russian dude, whatever his name
Joshua.
is.
Well, yeah, because Joshua lost.
Joshua lost.
Joshua lost. Yeah.
So if Joshua loses again, and Fury beats what is it, Usyk, something like that,
Yeah.
and he beats him, what's next? Every other heavyweight's terrible. That's literally it. It's literally, he's already destroyed Wilder. Wilder can never fight Fury again. He would have to fight Joshua eventually, and then like that's it.
Which is funny because I think Joshua gives him a really good fight, but I don't think Joshua can beat Wilder at all. There's nothing in me that thinks Joshua can beat Wilder at any point, any time. Wilder knocks him out. But I think Joshua has a legitimate chance against Tyson Fury.
But he has to go through Wilder.
If Joshua loses again, he has to fight Wilder. That's the only
the
non-heavyweight title fights are more exciting than the title fights right now.
Anthony Joshua he is glass jaw material.
He's a great athlete who boxes.
And that's perfect for Anthony.
He's a great athlete who boxes.
Wilder. Deontay Wilder is gonna knock him out because he can't take a punch. But I mean, I think he gets knocked out by Fury as well. I mean, he's just like he's falling off a cliff. That's just what it is.
That Ruiz fight that he didn't prepare for ruined
man,
whatever he had going.
Everyone, whatever reputation he ever had.
And then
that Ruiz
the
fight,
second fight, he just ran from Ruiz the whole last 2 to 3 rounds.
Who's the kid that beat Joshua?
Ruiz. And then it was
recently.
Whatever the fuck his name is.
Usyk? No,
Usyk.
But that's the
He's
thing.
a boxer.
He's
a bad
fight.
dude.
That is an Olympic gold medalist.
He could fight.
Like that is a man that can fight, and I'm not gonna just overly say Tyson Fury is just gonna beat him because that dude can fight.
No, he's the best chance to beat Fury right now. As a whole, it's him. Wilder as a boxer, no. Wilder as I can hit you once and lay you out, yeah, it's a good chance, but Usyk as a boxer is a bad dude. That's a bad man.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua man, I used to really be a big fan of Joshua, and I'm just like, man,
he ain't got it.
Take fights seriously, and you're sitting here just getting hit, and you're just nah, I can't. I'm over you. You Brits are a little weak sometimes.
All right, everybody, it's that favorite time of the week.
Play music.
Dylan, this would be your drop time.
Music. Notebook. I made it easier because I want some right answers. It's very annoying going through and living the trivia experience of a whole lot of L's. If you guys actually listen to the podcast all the way through, I put 9 incorrect buzzers in and 1 correct buzzer in last week.
That's a lot. All the guessing is it was a little bit. But hey, maybe we'll get
I'm still mad because I knew that DeAndre Jordan. I got the years mixed up.
Yeah, you did that. But I got 2
That was
NBA
funny.
questions and 2 music questions. Since Anthony dipped,
Right.
it will not go towards anybody's record. We're going to see if the easy questions are as easy as I think they are.
Roz is funny. Hey, Ricky, hot done.
So I'll just
Such a
ask
great
this.
memory. Such a great memory.
I'll just ask this outright, and anybody who wants to answer, go right ahead. Scotty Skiles has the record for most assists in a game with how many? I guess this is not as
26.
easy.
27.
I guess this is not as easy as I thought.
I guess it's not 27.
I'm gonna go with 30.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, Russ.
because
30.
Russ had. I remember Russ had 28, and they were talking about how he was really close. So yeah.
Russ, 30. Damn. Hell yeah. All right. Question number 2. Kendall Gill and Larry Kennan have the record for most steals in a game with how many?
I'm gonna go with 8.
13.
Yeah, it's gotta be more than 8. Yeah.
Michael?
11.
Correct! Hell yeah! Easy questions! Easy questions for the win. See, this is way more entertaining now that we're getting right answers. Let's go!
Sorry,
All right.
that should cut off shortly.
All right. So, these next 2 questions are going to make me very upset if you get them wrong.
Oh,
Name the 3 members of A Tribe Called Quest.
to live.
Q-Tip. Your turn, Roz.
Oh, Q-Tip. Fife Dog. Ross.
Oh, we were going a round robin type of thing. I thought it was just.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we named
I
2.
think we can do it.
We
I think we
named
can do
Well,
it.
James said
He said
Q-Tip.
Q-Tip. He said
No,
Q-Tip.
he said Q-Tip.
I said Fife Dog.
You said Fife.
Q-Tip, Fife, and oh wow, why would I?
The third one always slips me too. They took out the easy ones. R.I.P.
Yeah, I know they did. I know they did. I know they did.
Because they don't know the third one.
Let's get that buzzer ready. Get that buzzer ready.
Unless Mike knows the third one.
I do know the third one.
I do not know the third one right now. Excuse me.
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, sorry. Behind the scenes stuff. What happened? He doesn't know?
No.
Oh, no, I'm not telling you.
I know it.
I
I'm not
know
telling
it.
you.
Oh, you were asking. you
I
told me
want
to-
the buzzer. That's what I want. No, I want the buzzer.
Oh,
Fine, buzzer. Dylan, Mike.
I want the buzzer. You're
All right,
wrong.
go ahead, Mike.
all right.
Oh, I don't know. Oh.
You don't know?
You got a buzzer.
It's some. It's some. Yes.
No, I don't know.
Yes.
It's Ali
Ali
Shaheed Muhammad.
Ali Shaheed Muhammad. Yeah.
Yes.
He makes the beats, right?
Yes.
Remember the guy that asked for the music? Yeah.
All right. Name the 3 members of De La Soul.
Ooh.
You know, that was the song that popped into my head too.
And
But
Ross
I
is gone.
don't. Rod said, "I'm done with this game."
He's like, I hate y'all. Oh, he's coming back.
I don't know. I should know, but I don't know.
think I can give you like one person. I think I give you one person, and I think. Fuck. Oh, sorry, language. I can give you one person. I would say.
I know two people.
Macio?
Yeah.
Macio or something like that.
Macio and Prince Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other guy is always another one that his name starts with a T though.
Yeah.
It's like Is it Truyo or something like that? I can't remember.
Close, very close.
I can't remember how to say his name.
I always pronounce his name wrong, or I think I do. It's Trugoy.
Trugoy, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Trugoy.
Yes.
Trugoy.
Yes. That's right.
That was a good question because I had no idea.
It's another member. I don't know his name now.
I was gonna say that was. I thought those were easy. Hell yeah! So the NBA questions were easier. The music questions, y'all disrespect my favorite rap group of all time, with A Tribe Called Quest. Hate y'all.
Ooh, y'all!
I knew the rappers. I didn't know the producer.
I knew that group.
Tribe Called Quest. I think Midnight Marauders is one of my favorite albums of all time.
I have a Tribe Called Quest jacket right there. I'm looking at it.
That's something people don't realize about me. I love Tribe Called Quest.
Wait, what was? Oh, that's probably something else. I thought Buster was like an honorary member of some group. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but like New School.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
But yes, yeah. Tribe Called Quest, one of my favorite rap groups of all time.
PTA.
So yeah, that's all I got for trivia. Dylan, more music. Gracias.
Great work for trivia, Dylan, as usual.
See, we're making it easier. Correct answers are better than incorrect answers. That makes everybody at home think they're smart too.
And think that we're idiots.
Yeah, of course. I can't imagine.
That's like me. Every time I write these questions, I'm like, God, these guys are stupid.
Oh boy.
There were more right answers tonight.
More right answers tonight.
Progress.
We're getting there. Good job, fellas.
All right, who's going first? Who's leading off the goodbyes tonight?
Sure, I'll start. We'll go or this way. Yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah, probably that way.
Shout out to all the listeners. Like and subscribe on all the podcast platforms, YouTube as well. Appreciate all of you guys. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody around the world.
Yes,
to
sir.
my brothers here. Appreciate you all. Thankful for you guys. Thankful for everything. Brownsback Gorilla on Instagram. BB Gorilla _ on Twitter. Where I haven't been active really recently, but I'll be better on it. Shout out to the favorite producer, me, for producing the podcast, getting the editing skills going. Appreciate you. I want to learn how to put video clips into the video and then have Mike eat his words about what he said about the Jets being correct and incorrect. So we'll see if I get that going.
We can play the tape back. I was correct.
Okay, sure. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy your families. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Breezy at Breezy5X on Twitter. Breezy _ BILLZ on Instagram. Shout out to the guys in the Triple B's chat. Speak about a lot of stuff on there that can't be said on podcasts. Shout out to the guys. We got some guest appearance coming from a few of them on here soon. But yeah, man. Thank you for the listeners, for the DSPs. Thank you for the viewership, for YouTube, and wherever we are as well. Shout out to them. Like, subscribe, hit that bell. Yeah, man. Thank you for listening to us for sure, man. Thank you for everybody that's like supporting us throughout this, and I think we got something good going.
Yeah, I jump in. Want to say happy holidays to everyone. Thanks for tuning in. So it's a great pleasure to speak and to entertain you guys in this manner. Definitely check me out if you want to reach out. Raziel B Moore. That's RazielBMore on Instagram. You can check me out on Snap too if you want to check out. Sometimes I might put some content on soon. I'm working on my Twitter. I said I worked on it last time. Still working on it, so I can be a little bit more active in that. Snap is Razmondis,
Love that
RAZMONDIS,
name.
and definitely gonna have some cool content coming out soon. Some sports related content. I've been meaning to just jump into that, and then I'm been itching to make sure I put out some decent content. So definitely tune into the Speak on It podcast whenever you get a chance. Run it back if you want to figure out what's going on. If you missed one beforehand, it's only going to get better and better. So make sure you stay on. Like, of course, I try to definitely be here more often. So like, fingers crossed on that. You know,
Disappearing at
and
9 o'clock in the group chat.
listen, like definitely, man. Like, people call me Raza Ghul, so sometimes I retreat to the Lazarus pit. Sometimes I come back up. Like I got the green on. The green's not just for show. So listen, I'll see you again. I promise. But just make sure you tune in. Glad to be here. Glad to have you tuning in. This is definitely an honor and a pleasure.
I will go last. Firstly, yes, thank you everyone for listening, watching. We're trying to take over. Find us, listen to us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. We're trying to take over step by step. YouTube, if you want the video, just hop on the YouTube, like and subscribe on everything. Watch it, then watch it again, and then watch it again. Just so
Run
we
it
can
back,
keep
run
giving
it
you more
back, run
content.
it back.
And yes, just want to shout out everyone. Shout out SB for the beat. Demigod. I'm gonna shout you out every week till I get you on here, get you in front of the camera for once. And that's really it. Shout out OTTR, my wrestling podcast. We're on hiatus, but we are steadily growing. Shout out to Blackheart. Yes, you see it behind me. OTTR. Tape back season will be in effect at the start of the new year. Going to be a 3-time champion. Start of the new year.
So, with you being going to be a 3-time champion, does that mean you lost?
Dylan, now.
I did lose. I did lose. Thanks in large part to Omos, the wrestler Omos winning the Battle Royal.
Who did you have winning that trash Battle Royal?
I thought they were going to have Otis win. And then I didn't realize until 30 seconds before it began that it was all tag teams in it. And I quickly realized that it was a setup and it was just going to be Omos. I thought AJ Styles might sneak it, but nope. And I lost by one match. And guess what the one match was? That and Damian Priest getting disqualified, But, when it's time for that. But, yes, still follow my boys on OTTR, Off the Top Rope. Follow me on all the socials, IAM_MBJ. Get those follows up. We're only getting better. We're only getting stronger. We will be back and better than ever. Everybody enjoy your holiday. Have a good Thanksgiving. Eat. Be thankful for everything that we blessed for. Every day above ground's a blessing. And in the words of my man, Greeny, one day I will get you on this show. We will be back and try to be better than ever. And with that, fellas, I say good night.
Good evening. Good night.